The room was silent, except for the hum of fluorescent lights. No windows. No clocks. Just steel drawers, white tiles, and a table designed for the dead. This was not a place where secrets survived. Yet this one did, buried in paperwork, sealed in a folder, and quietly erased from public record. Tonight, we're talking about the autopsy report that was never meant to be read. Not because it was lost. Not because it was destroyed. But because someone made sure it disappeared. The body arrived at the county morgue just after 2:40. A male mid-40s. Well-dressed. According to the police report, the death was sudden and natural. A probable heart attack. No signs of struggle. No need for concern. That should have been the end of it. But the medical examiner on duty that night didn't agree. Dr. Alan Weiss had performed more than 3,000 autopsies in his career. He knew what natural death looked like. He also knew what didn't. The man on the table, identified only as John Doe, number 1173, showed none of the classic indicators. No arterial blockage. No enlarged heart. No medical history to explain collapse. Yet the paperwork already listed a cause of death. That was unusual. What was more unusual was the phone call that came before the autopsy even began. A senior official from the county administrator's office. Polite.com/firm. The message was simple. Handle this one quickly. No explanation. No follow-up questions. Whose presser Dr. Weiss noted it in his personal log, a habit he de-developed after years of political interference and unexplained deaths. He didn't know then that this note would later save his career. As the examination progressed, inconsistencies began to pile up. Microscopic hemorrhaging in the lungs, unusual liver enzyme activity, traces of a compound not listed in any standard toxicology panel. Not poison. Not exactly. Something designed to leave the body looking normal. At 5:12 a.m., Dr. Weiss paused the autopsy. He requested expanded toxicology screening. That request triggered another phone call. This time, the voice was colder. "You're overcomplicating this," the caller said. "Sign it off." Dr. Weiss refused. And that's when everything changed. By sunrise, the body was gone. Removed from the morgue. Without authorization. No transfer paperwork. No destination listed. The steel drawer where John Doe had been stored sat open. Empty. By noon, Dr. Weiss was informed that the case had been reassigned. Closed. Cause of death. Natural causes. Autopsy findings. Unremarkable. But Dr. Weiss had already done something that couldn't be undone. He had printed a draft report, and he had taken it home. The report contradicted everything the official narrative claimed. It suggested exposure to an experimental compound 1 not approved for civilian use, a compound rumored to exist only in classified defense research, the kind designed to simulate natural death. No trauma. No traceable toxin. No questions. Perfect. Too perfect. Dr. Weiss did what professionals are told to do. He reported his concerns internally. The response was swift. His access credentials were revoked. His email locked. His upcoming cases reassigned. Within a week, he was placed on administrative leave for procedural violations. Within a month, he was offered early retirement. With a condition: silence. The autopsy report vanished. No digital record. No physical copy. Except one. The one Dr. Weiss kept hidden in a fireproof safe behind a false wall in his garage. He didn't share it. Not immediately. because people who shared things like this had a habit of dying. Suddenly, 3 years later, Dr. Weiss broke his silence. Not to the police, not to the courts, but to an investigative journalist specializing in sealed cases and government misconduct. What followed was a quiet exchange of documents. No headlines, no leaks, just enough information to raise a terrifying question. How many deaths were ruled natural? That weren't. Before the story could be published, the journalist's source went dark. Phones unanswered. Emails bounced. Meetings canceled. Then came the final message. Don't run it. 2 days later, Dr. Weiss was found dead in his home. Official cause: heart failure. No autopsy performed. The journalist never published the full report, but fragments made their way online. Screenshots, scans, archived notes, enough to confirm the report was real, enough to scare the right people, and enough to ensure it would never be officially acknowledged. Today, John Doe number 1173 remains unidentified. No family ever came forward. No missing person matched his description. It's as if he never existed, except someone went to great lengths to erase him. Autopsy reports are supposed to tell the truth. They speak for the dead when no one else can. But sometimes the truth is too dangerous, too inconvenient, too expensive, so it gets buried, not in the ground, but in files no one is allowed to open, and somewhere, locked away in a cabinet or a server marked classified, there are reports just like this one. Reports that were never meant to be read. Because once you read them, you realize something chilling. Some deaths aren't accidents. They're decisions.